Our first date was supposed to be simple. I suggested a small Italian place near my apartment. Quiet, cozy, with real candles on the tables. Madison looked at the menu online and frowned. She said it looked a bit casual for a first date. Then she mentioned Morton's downtown like it was destiny. I hesitated but agreed because I wanted to impress her. The restaurant smelled like money and confidence. She ordered wine, lobster tail and Wagyu steak. I ordered something smaller, pretending the price didn't sting. When the bill came, it was over $300. She didn't even glance at it. Just smiled and said, "You're such a gentleman." I laughed, but inside I was already doing math. That night, she kissed me on the cheek before leaving. Her perfume stayed on my shirt like a promise. A week later, she texted first. She wanted to try a wine bar that everyone's talking about. Another expensive night, another big bill. She talked about her dreams, travel, luxury cars, and designer clothes. I told myself she just had good taste. Every time she smiled, I forgot the price tag. She loved taking pictures of her food and her drinks. Never of me. I didn't notice that part until much later. On our third date, she suggested sushi at a high-end spot. She ordered omakase, steak and appetizers for the experience. I paid again. She called me generous, and I believed her. When she hugged me, I felt lucky. When she left, I felt broke. But the truth didn't matter yet. She knew how to make every evening feel like a movie. And I wanted to be the hero in it. A month in, she started hinting about gifts. She showed me a photo of a designer bag she needed for work. $800 for a tote. She didn't ask directly. She just mentioned it every few days with a sigh. When I didn't buy it, she went quiet. Cold silence. I caved after a week and bought it. Her smile returned instantly. She kissed me like I'd done something noble. That was the pattern I didn't see forming. Her affection was a switch she controlled. Money turned it on. Refusal turned it off. I thought I was spoiling someone I loved. In reality, I was renting her happiness. My friends started to notice the change in me. Mark joked that I was dating a luxury subscription service. I laughed, but deep down, he wasn't wrong. Every dinner was a test. Every weekend, an investment. Every compliment she gave me had interest attached. But I was already hooked. I mistook manipulation for magic. I confused her attention with affection. And with every swipe of my card, I dug myself deeper. Love wasn't supposed to feel like this. But I was too blinded by her beauty to stop. The pattern became impossible to ignore. Madison always chose the place, always the most expensive one. She said she liked men with standards, not men who cut corners. If I suggested something casual, her smile would fade. "Oh, you want to take me somewhere cheap," she'd say softly. Then she'd go quiet for hours, making me feel guilty. It worked every single time. I started booking tables at restaurants I couldn't afford. She would post every moment online, tagging luxury brands. Never once did she mention me. Just the view, the wine, the designer outfit. To her followers, she looked adored. To me, she looked expensive. After 3 months, my savings started shrinking. I stopped buying things for myself. Every dollar went to dinners, gifts, or weekend trips. She said experiences were investments in love. But they only seemed to buy temporary peace. If I hesitated, she'd sigh and say, "I just thought you cared." That line always broke me. So I kept paying, kept pretending, kept losing myself. Once, I suggested cooking dinner together at home. She laughed like it was a joke. "I don't really do home meals," she said. "I like to be treated out, not eat leftovers." Her words stung, but I swallowed it. I told myself she just had high expectations. But deep down, I felt like a walking wallet. On our 6-month anniversary, she planned a trip to Napa Valley. Luxury spa weekend, Full package, $2,000 gone. She said it would bring us closer. It didn't. It just proved how far I'd drifted from the man I used to be. When my friend Mark asked if she ever paid for anything, I froze. I couldn't remember a single time. He told me to wake up before I went broke. But I wasn't ready to face it. Madison had this way of making everything sound like my fault. If she was upset, I was the problem. If she wanted something, I was the solution. It was exhausting, but I didn't dare stop. The more I gave, the more she expected. The more she expected, the less I mattered. She began dropping hints about my apartment. "Don't you think it's time to upgrade?" she asked one night. She showed me listings for luxury buildings downtown. $3,000 a month for a one-bedroom with a rooftop pool. I laughed, thinking she was joking. She was. "It fits us better," she said. "Our lifestyle deserves something more polished." Our lifestyle. Her words echoed in my head for days. I realized I didn't have a lifestyle. I had bills, debts, and anxiety. But she called it romance. I called it survival. Still, I stayed. Because leaving meant admitting I'd been used. And that kind of truth costs more than money. It costs pride. It costs years. And I wasn't ready to pay that price yet. By the 7th month, my bank account looked thinner than I'd ever seen it. The savings I built for years were vanishing fast. Every dinner, every trip, every special moment came with a price tag. Madison didn't seem to notice or care. She always talked about our lifestyle like it was something sacred. I started calculating every expense in silence. Her birthday was coming up, and she made sure I knew what she wanted. A Tiffany necklace, $2,500. She mentioned it almost every day. We walk past the store and she'd stop, staring through the glass. "That one," she'd whisper. "It's timeless, just like us." I laughed on the outside and panicked on the inside. There was no us. There was her dream and my debt. Still, I gave in. I took a small loan just to make her happy. She cried when she opened the box. Tears, smiles, kisses, Instagram posts. "Best boyfriend ever," she wrote online. Not a single mention of my name. Just the brand, just the price. I started to see what I really was to her. A sponsor, a paycheck, a story she could brag about. She loved how people envied her. She loved the illusion of perfection. Meanwhile, I was suffocating. I missed how life used to feel simple. Pizza nights, movies at home. Now even silence felt expensive. When I tried to talk about cutting back, she rolled her eyes. "You're acting cheap again," she said. "I thought you were successful." Her words hit harder than I expected. Success wasn't supposed to mean drowning in debt. But she made it sound like love depended on luxury. I started to question myself. Was I not enough? Was my value measured in receipts and jewelry boxes? I barely recognized the man in the mirror. The one who used to save, plan, and dream. He was gone. Replaced by someone desperate for approval. One night, she called me crying. She said she felt insecure because her friend's boyfriend had bought a bracelet. "Do you ever want to make me feel special?" she asked. I had no words left. Just guilt. The next morning, I wired money for another gift. Not because I wanted to, but because it was easier than fighting. That's when I realized love shouldn't feel like an obligation. It shouldn't drain you until you're empty. But it was too late. I was deep in it now. Every dollar I spent kept her around a little longer. Every second I hesitated risked losing her completely. And somewhere between logic and longing, I lost myself. I thought I was proving my love. But I was only paying rent for her affection. And she knew it. She always knew it. Her obsession with luxury didn't stop at jewelry. It grew with every month we spent together. Now she wanted a bigger apartment, a better car, a louder life. She called it manifesting abundance. I called it debt. But she never wanted to hear that word. Babe, you make good money, she'd say. Why act like you're struggling? Because I was. I just didn't have the courage to admit it. Then came the conversation that broke everything. We were walking through an outdoor mall before Christmas. She stopped suddenly in front of a jewelry store. Her eyes lit up like a child. There it is, she whispered. A diamond ring, $18,500. She grabbed my arm and smiled. That's my ring, she said. I stared at the price tag, my stomach turning. 18,000, I asked quietly. It's perfect, she said. They even have financing. Financing for love. $300 a month for 6 years. I couldn't breathe. I told her maybe we should look for something simpler. Something real. She blinked like I'd spoken another language. Reasonable, she repeated. It's our engagement ring. She said it like it was already decided. I tried explaining my debt, the bills, the loan for her necklace. She crossed her arms and looked at me with disgust. So you're telling me you can't afford to marry me? Her words hit like ice water. I tried to stay calm. I can't afford an $18,000 ring, I said. It's not the same thing. She laughed. Cold, sharp, cruel. 3,000, she mocked. You'd propose with that. I wanted to scream that it wasn't about the ring. It was about us. But she didn't care. For Madison, love was a receipt. The bigger the price, the deeper the proof. I realized then that I wasn't her partner. I was her provider. I wasn't someone she loved. I was someone she used. She tilted her head, smirking. You just don't get it, she said. I deserve nice things. I know my worth. I looked at her, finally seeing her clearly. What's your worth exactly? I asked. She smiled, slow and cruel. More than you can afford. That was it. The moment everything snapped. Not in anger, but in clarity. She was right. I couldn't afford her, and I didn't want to anymore. I told her it was over. Her confidence cracked for the first time. You're joking, she said. But I was. I walked away without another word. Her voice followed me through the mall. You'll regret this. You'll never find anyone like me. I didn't look back. For the first time in months, I felt free. Broke, yes. But free. The days after the breakup were quiet. Too quiet. No texts, no plans, no dinners to budget for. Just silence and relief. Then the messages started coming. At first, they were angry. You're immature. You threw everything away. Then they turned sad. Please, can we talk? I miss you. And finally bitter. You'll die alone, you cheap bastard. I blocked her everywhere. Phone, email, social media. I thought that would be the end of it. But people talk. Friends told me Madison had moved on fast. She started dating a lawyer, then a banker, then someone in real estate. Each one lasted a few fancy dinners. When the gifts stopped, so did she. She was hunting for a lifestyle, not love. But the city's small, and reputations grow loud. Soon, everyone knew. She became the woman men warned each other about. Beautiful but expensive. Polished but hollow. A luxury no one could truly afford. Months passed. I started to feel like myself again. I paid off the personal loan within 2 months. I cooked at home, watched movies, saved money. Every small choice felt like taking my life back. Then, one afternoon, I saw her again. At a coffee shop near my office. She was alone, standing in line, counting coins in her hand. The shine was gone. Her designer purse looked old, her makeup faded. She saw me before I could leave. Ethan, she said softly, can we talk? I hesitated, then nodded. She sat across from me, her coffee small, her smile strained. I've been thinking, she said. I made mistakes. I listened, but said nothing. I realized money doesn't matter, she continued. I miss us. I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. But then I remembered the ring, the laughter, the words. More than you can afford. I sipped my drink and said quietly, I hope you're doing better. She looked away. I'm trying, she whispered. But she was. Her pride had nowhere left to go. Later, a mutual friend told me she'd moved back in with her parents. The luxury apartment, the nights out, the designer clothes, all gone. She tried picking up extra work, but quit after 2 weeks. It ruins my social life, she'd complained. Her world was shrinking, while mine was expanding again. I didn't feel revenge. Just closure. She was finally living within her means. And I was finally living within my peace. For the first time in a long time, I didn't owe anyone anything. Not money. Not attention. Not forgiveness. Madison had spent years chasing wealth she couldn't keep. And I had finally learned the price of freedom. Time moved on, quietly but surely. I rebuilt my savings, little by little. I started enjoying small things again. Cooking simple meals, walking after work, sleeping without anxiety. For the first time, life didn't feel like a bill waiting to be paid. Then I met Olivia, a teacher at a local elementary school. She smiled easily, spoke softly, and never once asked what I earned. Our first date was at a small diner with plastic menus. She laughed when I offered to pay for both. Why would you? She said. I ordered it, I can pay for it. Her confidence felt like fresh air. No games, no tests, no hidden expectations. We split the check and still left smiling. It felt new. Real. With her, I didn't need to perform generosity. I could just be myself. She liked movie nights at home and long walks in the park. She liked cheap pizza more than fine dining. She didn't post our dinners online or compare gifts with friends. She just wanted company. We built something slowly, quietly, without luxury or pressure. Months passed, and peace became the new normal. I didn't realize how much noise Madison had brought into my life until it was gone. Olivia made silence feel safe again. When I told her about my past, she didn't judge. She just said, sometimes you have to lose something fake to make room for something real. That sentence stayed with me. A year later, I proposed. Nothing fancy. A ring for $1,200. Simple, elegant, honest. She picked it out herself. When I asked if she wanted something bigger, she laughed. Why would I want you to go into debt for a ring? That was the moment I knew. This was love, not for show, not for status, not for sale. We celebrated with pizza and cheap champagne on my apartment floor. No fancy restaurant, no audience. Just the two of us, laughing, eating, living. It was perfect. Sometimes, I still think about Madison. Not with anger, just understanding. She taught me what love is. She showed me that wealth without warmth means nothing. I heard she's still chasing the same dream. Still searching for someone to fund her version of happiness. But no amount of money can fix a hollow heart. As for me, I found peace in simplicity. Love that costs nothing but time, patience, and truth. Olivia doesn't ask for diamonds. She asks how my day was. She doesn't need proof of love. She lives it. And every night when I see her smile, I'm reminded of that final truth. You can't afford someone who values things over people. But when you find someone who values you, you'll never feel poor again. Madison once told me I couldn't afford her. She was right, but not the way she thought. I couldn't afford her greed, her pride, her emptiness. I couldn't afford to lose myself trying to buy love. The real cost wasn't money, it was dignity. And I finally stopped paying that price. She's still chasing men who can give her what I wouldn't. But wealth can't fill the space where honesty should live. I don't hate her anymore. She was the lesson I needed to grow up. I learned that love built on money collapses fast. I learned that peace is richer than diamonds. Now, when I look at Olivia, I see what real worth means. It's laughter over coffee, hands held in silence, no labels, no lies. Our life is simple, but it's ours. And I finally understand what freedom feels like. You can buy attention, but not affection. You can rent comfort, but not connection. And sometimes, walking away is the most expensive courage of all. I stopped trying to afford her. And that's how I finally became rich.